The Mahar is an Indian community found largely in the state of Maharashtra, where they comprise 10% of the population and neighboring areas. Most of the Mahar community followed India's first Minister of Law and Social Reformer B.R.Ambedkar in converting to Buddhism in the middle of the 20th century. The community is included in the Scheduled Castes and Scheduled Tribes category by the Indian government. History. Middle Ages. During the Bhakti era of Hinduism, several Mahar saints such as Chokamila, Kamamila, Banka, Nirmala, Saurabha and Bhagu became popular. Peshwa rule. The Mahar were subjected to painful degradation during the rule of the Peshwas, who treated them as untouchables. British India. Mahars were considered an untouchable caste by the Hindu community, but under British rule they became aware of scope for social and political advancement. The traditional role had been low status but important in the village system. Traditionally, they lived on the outskirts of villages. Their duties included those of village watchman, messenger, wall mender, adjudicator of boundary disputes, street sweeper, and remover and processor of carcasses. They also worked as agricultural laborers and held some land, though they were not primarily farmers. In the 20th century, significant numbers left their traditional villages and moved into the urban centers of India in search of better employment and educational opportunities. They gave up the traditional jobs in cities, and to a large extent in rural Maharashtra, and took employment in the mills, docks, construction sites and railways. They created a receptive body of urban workers who were ready to join a political movement for higher status and equality. In 1873, Jyoti Rao Phule, the founder of Satyashodak Samaj, which aimed to abolish religious slavery from the influence of Brahminical scriptures, organized Mahars. The first conference was held in Mumbai in 1903. Mahar were not allowed to enter the Hindu temple and were considered pollutants. Even their entry into the shrines of Hindu gods was restricted. Military role. The Mahar have served in various militaries for the last several centuries. The Maratha Emperor Shivaji recruited a number of Mahars into his army in the 17th century. They served as guards in hill forts and as soldiers. During the colonial period, large numbers of Mahars were recruited for military duties by the East India Company and the British Raj. The Battle of Corrigan is commemorated by an obelisk known as the Corrigan Pillar, which was erected at the site of the battle, and by a medal issued in 1851. The pillar featured on the Mahar regiment crest until Indian independence. It is inscribed with the names of 22 Mahars killed at the battle. The Mahar were initially heavily recruited into British military units, but this process slowed after the Indian Rebellion of 1857. The recruitment of Mahars was halted under Lord Kitchener in the early 1890s. Before the Sepoy Rebellion, Mahar regiments made up 1/6 of the Bombay units of the East India Company. But after the rebellion, and the reorganization of British Indian units, Mahars were pensioned off and gradually removed from military service. Mahar recruitment reached its nadir in the early 1890s when Kitchener halted the recruitment of untouchables in Maharashtra in favor of martial races, such as the Marathas and other northwestern communities. The Mahar community attempted to confront this bloc with a petition circulated among the Mahar Chamar and Mang former soldiers, all Marathi-speaking untouchables, but the movement was unable to organize and submit the petition. In 1941, the Mahar regiment was formed. Religion. Christianity. In late 19th century, Otto Weishaupt's attempts to evangelize in Sangam area of Ahmednagar district met with little success with communities such as the Brahmins, Muslims and Bills, but his efforts to promote Christianity did appeal to the Mahars of the area. There were also some Mahar converts to Christianity in other areas of Ahmednagar district around the early 20th century. Buddhism, the Christian conversion movement became overshadowed by the emergence of B.R.Ambedkar's Buddhist conversion movement. When Ambedkar formally converted to Buddhism at Nagpur in 1956, many Mahars were among those of his followers who chose to do the same. As Buddhists, they gave up the traditional Hindu occupations and sought to redefine the social status. Ambedkar died about 2 months after this mass conversion. At the same spot, after his cremation, more Mahars were converted to Buddhism. Now, this community is the third most populous in Mumbai. Mahars who have converted to Buddhism are called Neo-Buddhists. Some Buddhist leaders among the population prefer that the term Mahar no longer be applied to these converts. Buddhism appealed to the sense of equality in the Mahar. An intellectual of Mahar origin said, "I have accepted Buddhist doctrine. I am Buddhist now. I am not Mahar now, not untouchable nor even Hindu. I have become a human being."